people to empower another 1,000 people to be happy. 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000 is 1 billion people, about an eighth of this universe. An eighth of the world can be empowered to be happy, and there's nothing more important in life than to be happy. And I'm going to teach, through my journey, lessons of happiness. It's really simple, of how to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. My definition of happiness is really simple. It's the enjoyment of the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit, pursuit of your potential. And there's one thing that I know. Happy people don't have disease. They don't destroy, right? They don't have to, they're amazing. Happy people don't do bad things. Number one, you have to be happy to give it to other people. And if you're not feeling happy, then go ask for help. Ask for help. Ask somebody, can you please help me? This is what I need to be happy.
But today I came with expectation to like feel that energy today, because I just was like, if I could just get here to listen to your story today, you know, that would inspire me. And I just really want to say thank you, you know. That's why I came back, because it was just in me just to come back at least to say thank you. You know, you might not have been where I'm at right now, but you know, your story still inspired me regardless.
All of you live in the world of more than enough, with me and through me. And so if all of us can live with gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication, if all of us can consistently, every day, persistently, without quit, enjoy the pursuit of that blessing, that potential, that truth, we can manifest everything we desire. And if I can empower you to be happy, to empower others to be happy, that's what makes me happy. Thank you very much. Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy, healthy New Year, everybody. It is a Friday, Thursday edition. Welcome, everybody. We're so excited to have the end of year training. And, you know, a little bit different than most people, I believe every day is New Year's Day. And so looking at that, what my New Year's resolution is every year is to improve my habit machine. Because if I can be and enjoy the consistent every day, persistent, without quit, pursuit of my potential, then we can make it all happen. And so as we look at things today, think about what it is about your machinery, your conscious, subconscious, and unconscious, that are creating those habits for you, so that when you want to diet, when you want to be vegan, when you want to work out, when you want to be more consistent about anything, what are the capabilities you have, your habit machine, and every day take inventory of your values. I want to thank all of you at the end of this year as I take inventory in the acceleration and growth that everyone has experienced, especially my team. And to that end, I decided to utilize the end of the year training to ask my team if they had any questions that they would like to answer here at the end of the year training. Just a few announcements. Of course, all the replays of these trainings throughout the year are available on Spotify, featured there. It's called the Playbook. Download it, like it, share it. All the trainings are available for free on Entrepreneur, on every platform. You can email me exercises, guides, books, all the exercises and guides from today. We'll do Q&A, so load up the Q&A with questions of your own after we do this little quick training. Next week's training is on how to do a pitch in honor of the launching of 2-Minute Drill. 2-Minute Drill will be on Bloomberg TV and Amazon Prime. Also, if you can take away one thing, send me one habit. If you email me, david@dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com, which they'll put in the chat, or david or 949-298-2905, I will send you a signed copy of my book, and paid for shipping. I'll send that out to you. All you have to do is send me one habit of your habit machine. What is it that we're going to effectuate an enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And so I think that covers all of it. What I'd like to do next is go ahead and answer these questions from my team. Go ahead, Matt. Let's show the questions and get those. While it's happening, please enjoy the chat. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com. Text me at 949-298-2905. Love to hear from you. Go ahead, Matt, play the video. Here we go. Hey, I decided at the end of 2020, since it's been a different kind of year, to do a different kind of training. So I've prompted my crew, my team David Meltzer, to give me questions that they're curious about for next year and for things that have happened this year. I really want to get your feedback to see. We're going to do our own live Q&A after this as well, of course. But I wanted to get my team involved. They've done such an extraordinary job. I want to thank them all. You would not believe what we pulled off in 2020. Once again, with great change comes great opportunity. And I'm so proud of my team for taking advantage of the opportunity to make more money, help more people, and have more fun. Let me know what you think. Remember, this is the Playbook. Download it, like it, share it. It's going to be extraordinary 2020. Let's get rolling with some questions from my team, and then we'll get rolling with questions from you.
Dave, myself and the other people who have been working for you the longest, Monday morning meetings have been a staple of the company culture you've created. This year was the year where you really got specific on 5 practices that kicked off our meeting every Monday this year. Can you walk everyone through what those 5 practices are? My biggest enlightenment of 2020 was effectuating not only the 4 values that I teach. Number 1, gratitude, which gives you perspective, right? It allows you to not just see the light, the love, and the lessons, but share the light, the love, and the lessons, and gives us the perspective that pain is just a turn signal, not a stop sign. It is a turn signal indicating we have that lesson to learn and that we are moving in a better place, a better direction to make our situation better. Gratitude is the most powerful thing. So reiterate some of the early lessons to say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up. I started doing and reiterating that not only for myself, but for my team. Every Monday morning meeting, I went over these 4 values and my 5 daily practices. The second value really came to light. I studied the Course in Miracles. I've always said that forgiveness or empathy gives us peace. But what I didn't know, and what frustrated me in 2020, was everybody searching for certainty. Everybody was searching for certainty. And I would say the only thing that's certain is uncertainty. If anybody could tell me what is going to happen for sure tomorrow, we can make billions of dollars and give it all to charity. But we can't. But the only quest for certainty that I have is forgiveness. Because if I can learn to forgive the unforgivable, I have much more certainty in my life. The third value is accountability. Now, accountability asks 2 critical questions tied into the lessons of gratitude and forgiveness. Of course, that question is number 1, what did I do to attract this to myself? Utilizing the law of gravity, law of Goya, get off your ass, and the law of attraction. And then 2, most importantly, what did I learn from it? Once again, thematically in 2020, seeking the love, light, and the lessons and sharing those with others so they don't have to pay the dummy tax. And all of these together aggregate to the 4th value, which was originally in Connected to Goodness, a book in which I will give anybody anytime, david@dmeltzer.com. I'll sign it, send it, ship it for free, pay for your shipping. But effective communication turned into inspiration. Number 1, understanding the distinction between motivation and inspiration. Motivation can be fear-based. A lot of people say I'm motivated by fear. Absolutely, you can be motivated by fear. Not the best choice of the way to be motivated, but you actually can be motivated by fear because it gets you up, it gets you back up, it gets you started, it gets you back started. But where effective communication came in was the distinguishment between the motivation, which could be fear, and something that can't have fear in it, which is inspiration. In spirit, not knowing or realizing that not only are you connected to everyone and everything, but you're always connected to what? The greatest source of lessons.
the greatest source of light and love, this powerful source that comes through us for others. No longer do you have to live in a world of not enough where you're a victim and everything happens to you. No longer do you have to live in a world of just enough, like I did, giving and buying things you don't need to impress people you don't even like. Instead, the thematic venture in enlightenment of 2020 has been allow life to come through you for everyone else. Give your life away. Come from nowhere to now here, back to nowhere. Give your life away. Now, that's where we started the year with these 4 values. I started with my 5 daily practices, incorporating these values.
How would you explain being a student of your calendar to a 5-year-old?
Well, let me go through the 5 daily practices because I went through the 4 values. The first daily practice is take inventory of your values. Now, this is a difficult practice, but it is the cornerstone of my New Year's resolution last year, which was to build a habit machine. I was tired of giving New Year's resolutions about habits that I wanted to have for the year. Instead, the habit that I was going to have was to build a habit machine. What I found to be the fuel of the habit machine is every single day to take inventory of 4 different values. They don't have to be equal, not 25, 25, 25, and 25%. They can be weighted, but every day I started for a minimum of 10 minutes taking inventory of my personal values. That's what's important to me for that day. My experiential values, which really ended up being much more valuable than I thought because I didn't realize how much of my day I didn't have planned, not planned, or didn't give attention and intention to, including my sleep. Once I started saying, this is what I want to experience today, I started being more productive, accessible, and gracious with my time. The third one I've always done, which is my gratitude or my giving values of what I'm going to provide, how I'm going to be of service. And then I really worked on my receiving values of what I want. I became a big fan this year of the what, not the why. I coached a ton of people to understand this is what I want today. And here's the nuance that I learned. Don't be afraid of being a hypocrite. If you are afraid of changing, and it makes it easy to change when you're taking inventory every day because they're not dramatic changes at the end of the year where you're like, I got to quit drinking or I got to quit it's just subtle changes because every day you're changing and you're not afraid of changing, growing, accelerating, or being called a hypocrite, being laughed at, scoffed at, made fun of. Simply people applaud you because you're expanding and growing at all times and learning. The second habit is to ask. Now, I say the irony of my whole life is that the 2 most important things that I learn and teach, and I practice, by the way, is ask and say thank you. 2 things I learned before I was 3 years old. Obviously, say thank you before you go to bed and when you wake up every single day. Your life will change in a minimum of 30 days. But more importantly, ask. Too many people see things as separate, inferior, superior. They think people are literally gatekeepers or hurdles or mountains or walls between us and what we want. It's not. If you learn to ask in person, on the phone, via email and media, traditional and social media, do you know anyone that can help me? You are opening the door to connectivity. You are opening the door that everybody is a sponsor or a power sponsor. You're reminding yourself that a tree has no branches. One branch would not go to war against another branch. It killed the tree. You now look upon everybody as being helpful, and everyone's connected to so many more people. On average, everybody has about 1,000 followers today. When I was a kid, there were 3 or 4 people that you could ask for help from. Today, you can have such an extraordinary reach. So learn this question. Do you know anyone that can help me? Now, the third practice is being a student of the calendar. And this is a bigger lesson for me than any other one, because this is what made me realize what Lou Holtz was talking about. It's not what I say, it's what they hear. And what I mean by that is, to me, being a student of the calendar is so obvious. And I think that everybody just like remembers and knows to say thank you before they go to bed or when they wake up. But instead, being a student of the calendar encompasses the mathematical equation of luck. What do I mean by that? If you want to be lucky, you have to focus in on or pay attention to what you want.
Then you have to use the conscious continuum. What does that mean? You have to think what you want, say what you want, do what you want, hear what you want, write what you want, see what you want, believe what you want, all of these different things. And if you aggregate what you're focused in on, if you look at what you're focused in on, pay attention to it, and give that intention of thinking, saying, doing, believing, smelling, hearing, touching, all the things that you want, guess what? The coincidences occur. The luck of what you want appears. This is the mathematical equation. So I applied the mathematical equation of luck studying something I hated when I was young. I refused to study. I'd rather cheat on a test than study for it. That's just, my high school motto. But more importantly, I learned that studying's the greatest gift. I study every day. Hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half at night. I study. I pay attention to and focus in on and think, say, do, believe in all those of what I want to create the coincidences or luck. So what do I use as my biggest base? My calendar, right? My calendar. What I have planned, what I don't have planned, and my sleep. And so every day I'm studying in such detail the intricacies and the intention behind the 5-minute phone calls or the 20-minute meetings, behind the interviews, behind the speeches, behind the podcast with the Playbook, behind the TV shows like 2-Minute Drill and the elevator pitch, behind everything I do, the books, the guides, the exercises, the trainings. I'm putting intention and attention to it in a different way, and more bigger coincidences occur, and I'm not limiting myself at all. Now, the fourth daily practice is do it now. I love my favorite joke, right? I hate statistics. 99% of statistics, the only statistic I know to be true is 99% of all statistics are made up. But the one statistic that changed my life is 100% of the things that you do now get done. And the difference between fulfilling, passionate, purposeful, and profitable people is they get stuff done. So ask yourself 2 questions. What do I do, right? What do I do right now? Ask yourself, can I get this done now? And if you can do it, you'll save twice as much time and be exponentially more successful. And more importantly, if you can't do it now, what do? Utilize Roosevelt's matrix of urgency and importance. Look it up. There's a thing called Google. You just search Roosevelt matrix, urgency versus importance, and then decide on what part of your calendar you want to put that in. And if it's not urgent or important, delegate it to somebody else. And then finally, we'll get into more detail, but you have to be a ferocious Buddha on the 5th practice. It's this all-encompassing, lifelong journey of practicing ending fear, spending minutes and moments in fear. Everything I do is within the context of not wasting time, emotion, energy.
What's your advice to people who are starting a new career, starting a new business, or starting a new job, or even people who are going back to work after being laid off from COVID or other related instances? What advice would you give them in 2021?
Yeah. If you've been laid off, family passed away. I had an uncle pass away. One of my good friends passed away at 40. All types of things happen. How am I accountable for COVID? How am I accountable for losing my job? How am I accountable for shutting down my business? How am I accountable for any of this? You are. You may not be liable. It may not be your fault that COVID happened or your business went out of business or you lost your job, but you're accountable. There's a much bigger thing to realize beyond liability. Liability does incorporate blame, shame, and justification. There's laws and statutes and common law, all types of things that apply to see, that's why we have unemployment. Blame, shame, and justification. You're not liable for certain things, but you're accountable 100% of the time. Meaning, what did I do to attract this to my life? And what am I the minute you look at what am I supposed to learn at it, you allow yourself to find the light, the love, and the lessons to utilize gratitude, forgiveness, and accountability and be inspired. It is what motivates and inspires you to find out the expansion, the growth, the acceleration. In other words, what I believe the accountability question allows you to do, it secures that you are exactly where you're supposed to be, gives you complete control. It allows you to angle to what you want with all the fierce, ferocious persistence that you have, but it also gives you the patience to allow it to come to you. In other words, gives you faith that you'll end up somewhere better than you are today, even though someone may have passed away, even though you may have lost your job, even though you may be bankrupt, whatever is happening in your life that you may not be liable for. You can blame, shame, and justification your way to anything, but you are 100% accountable for it. And if you take accountability, you're going to end up in a better place with that type of faith. People that are in transition, my advice to you is to take inventory not only of your values, but of your capabilities. The better you understand your own skills, your own knowledge of what and who and your desire, you can then align it with the opportunities that are doing well or will do well in 2021, stable opportunities in 2021, or ones that you think will do well as a lottery ticket in 2021. People, once you know what your capabilities are, can find huge opportunities within the context of this extraordinary change.
You talk about practice ending fear. If you told me to practice a jump shot, I would understand what that means, go to the gym and shoot a basketball. What does it actually mean to practice ending fear? What am I specifically practicing?
It's so funny because my own kids will say, Dad, what do you mean by practicing ending fear? When I know I'm going to football practice or cheerleading practice or dance, I understand how I can practice that, but that doesn't make sense. Let me explain. First, I needed to define fear to my children. Because as much as you think there's fear or ego, everybody has a predisposed understanding of it. Here's how I define fear. One, Freud did a great job of talking about primal fear. So what does that mean? Number one, we do things that we're afraid will cause us to fight, to run away or flee or flight, that we're not going to eat. So, one of the greatest fears is we're not going to have enough money to eat. We're not going to have enough food, right? These are basic primal fears that cause you to do dumb shit. And then the other F word, procreate. A lot of people are driven from fear that they're not going to be able to procreate. But to practice ending fear goes far beyond the innate emotional primal fears. It goes to these secondary fears that ruins people's lives. And how does it ruin people's lives? It wastes their time. It wastes their emotions and energy. It wastes their money. It accelerates them in the wrong direction, away from what they want. Let me explain. How many of you have worried in your life? If I could add up all the time, emotion, money, and energy you've wasted worrying, how rich would you be? How many of you have felt inferior? If I could take all the time, emotion, money, and energy you wasted on feeling inferior, how much richer would you be? How many of you have been offended? This is my biggest one. I practice this every day. If I could have two things back, three really. If I could have all the time, emotion, energy, and money back from worrying, resenting people, and being offended. If I could have all that back, I can't even tell you how rich I would be. There'd be so much time, emotion, energy, and money in my life that I've wasted. And so when I talk about practicing ending fear, you need to identify what you're afraid of. We all know the primal fears. You're going to be afraid of the food, the fight, the flight, and the other F word that means procreate. But are you aware, or can you raise your awareness and definition when you have a need to be angry or anxious or frustrated or scared? Or what if you have a need to be offended? Guilty is another one. How many of you, time, emotion, energy, and money, feeling guilty about stuff? What does that get you done? It's a wasteful energy. So what I teach is to practice not ending it. I probably shouldn't say that because it's impossible, because we can't give an egoectomy and take it out of us. But why don't we practice diminishing, dissolving the fear, dissipating the fear? Meaning, I tell myself when I, number one, identify what I'm afraid of, stop. Just stop. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't go around it, over it, under it, oversell it, back end sell it, manipulate it, cheat it, lie it. Don't do any of that. Just stop. Breathe. which I say drop, but breathe through your nose, out through your mouth. Be calm, get to what I call center or neutral. I call it dropping to your higher self, because being centered or neutral is your highest self, because it allows you to have less interference to the light, the love, and the lessons, to connect to the power that you are connected to, the one that you're most afraid of. But more importantly, you need to practice dissipating, dissolving this idea of wasting time, emotion, and energy by identifying it, stopping, dropping, and then you can move in the right direction. If you're in fear-based consciousness, primal or secondary, your mind, your body, and soul are on fire. These should be key indicators that you're in a fear or ego-based emotion. Therefore, when you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. It's that simple. Make practicing, diminishing, or ending fear your goal. Tell yourself when you're afraid, cancel, stop, drop, and roll. Minutes and moments. That's what I spend. The difference in my life is I only spend minutes and moments in fear, not hours, days, weeks, months, and even years I've spent in that emotion.
What's your favorite memory of 2020?
My favorite memory for this year is the Meltzer videos, especially the dinner one. No doubt. It awakened me that I would trade Super Bowl passes, sideline masters, whatever I've been gifted in my past experience that I've given up dinners like that, I'll never do again. Best experience of my life is those Meltzer dinners.
What's your biggest regret, and what was the lesson that you learned from it?
Yeah, my biggest regret was the car video, because I set out to prove that you could take $1,000 upgrade and, leave your ego out of it. And I ended up so disappointing, but doing exactly what I was trying to teach against. I did really well until I got up to a high-end vehicle, and then I let my emotions take over. And my keys. It was a disaster, and I ended up only investment that I lost money in, which is really hard to do when you started with $1,000. And it wasn't the money, because I started with $1,000, built up to what should have been an $80,000 car, which I ended up having to wholesale because I made so many mistakes for like 20 some. But the amount of time, emotion, and energy was the most disappointing regret that I have, because I had promised myself that I would focus in on making money, not focusing on having my money make money. I was going to double the amount of money I could make and allow my money to be safe and grow.
What is your focus for 2021?
Empowering. My biggest focus for next year is empowering over 1 billion people to be happy. I'm way ahead of schedule. I am so excited. I can't make it to 4 a.m. anymore, because I get such great feedback and input that we together are building 1,000 times 1,000 times 1,000.
Where do you see the most opportunity in 2021?
A lot of people ask me where I see the most opportunity in 2021. Well, with great change comes things that are overbought and oversold. So I see great opportunity in the things that are going to be oversold. You got to be counterintuitive. If you look at like Bitcoin, the stock market, there has to be things that are literally overbought, and which means there's opportunities. And so I am cashing up and keeping my eye on the stock market, on Bitcoin, on real estate, on things that people can buy and sell, and determine not the bottom, but when something's oversold. Now, how do you do that, by the way? Go find someone. I did this today, not to name drop, but Andy Dane Carter was on my IG Live, and he is a 30-year expert in real estate. And I just had one simple question for him. Hey, can you let me know when things are oversold, right? So I can buy. That's it. I don't want the bottom, because if all I'm doing is buying things that experts tell me that have been in the space that are oversold and selling them when they're overbought, I don't need to be at the top and the bottom. I'm averaging a margin of millionaires in between.
I know in a spiritual sense, I know in a value sense, I know your mission is to empower 1 billion people. But what do you, David Meltzer, someone who doesn't place value on many material things, what do you want yourself in 2021?
It's funny, people ask me pragmatically what I really want, like something material. And ironically, it's such a difficult question. I think it may, gosh, it's hard, but I think it may be a Tesla. I'm going to gift my Volt away to my favorite employee. And I think if things go well, that I can buy a used Tesla. And, I just think it's an extraordinary car without, it's not a Ferrari. It's not a Porsche, but it's a car. I'd buy a used one that's in really good shape, but I think that's materially what I want. Yeah. So, in conclusion, I think the greatest lesson about this year, whether we go into the roaring 20s or into a depression, is that the people out there that can find the light, the love, and the lessons, that can live with gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration will do better in times of accelerated change. And I see that across the board, that the optimists and the toptimists, the people live with their values, are doing extremely well. And those that live below the line in blame, shame, and justification, those that pay attention to what they don't want, what's missing in their lives, what other people want from them, are still having the exact same struggles and challenges. So join me in 2021. Find the light, the love, and the lessons. Live with the 4 values and the 5 daily practices. Ask for help. Most importantly, join me every Friday. I'm here for you. I got private coaching groups, one-on-one, anything to help you. I'll give you my books, my guides, my exercises for free. Please just reach out, david@dmeltzer.com. Thank you so much. And of course, remember, especially in 2021, be kind to your future self and do good deeds.
There we go. Whoa. All right. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to get my my video right on the IG Live. There we go. All right, everyone. Happy New Year. It's going to be a healthy, happy New Year. Thank you so much. We're going to take some Q&A. Remember, 2-minute drill launches next week on Friday, a week from tomorrow. 2-minute drill. If you haven't applied for season 2, it's in June. dmeltzer.com/pitch. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, for exercises, guides, books. And if you email or text me, david@dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. It'll be put into the notes, 949-298-2905, or email me. Send me one habit that you're going to stick to 365 days this year, every day, with the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. I will sign a book personally to you. I will sign a book, send it, pay for shipping, just for you. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, 949-298-2905. Download any of the replays from the whole year. It's featured on Spotify, Entrepreneur, every platform. The Playbook, share it, like it. You'll love it. I love it. 2-minute drill. And remember, next week's training is on how and what do I include in a pitch. So we're going to promote 2-minute drill by doing a pitch training. How and what do I include in a pitch? You're going to love it. Now, let's start with some Q&A. The number one question I think you should be asking before I open those up: how the heck did you get this black eye? You see it there? Well, that was a result of not being a student in my calendar and rushing from the rowing machine onto a private group training that I was doing at 5:30 in the morning. I finished my rowing 5 minutes late, which made me rush and run through my house in the dark, and I ran into a wall. No, my wife is not abusing me, although she probably should. That's how I got my black eye. Great question. I hope someone asked it in here. We'll soon find out. All right. Good morning, Colleen. Well, number one, I want to thank Colleen. She's an extraordinary leader of my organization. You're an incredible woman, and I'm so proud of you. Can you explain the concept of plateau and grow? Yeah, this is the biggest myth of our lives, is people live the myth of Sisyphus. Camus wrote about this, and the myth of Sisyphus is the life of a tube. A life of a tube is someone that just exists so that they have enough to eat, and obviously they're just a tube. But to plateau and grow, we are not going to just roll a boulder to the top of the hill every day and allow it to roll back down. We are going to plateau and grow by starting our day tonight. meaning my tomorrow starts today at 9 p.m. If my day starts at 9 p.m. and I have an unwinding routine so I can start my day at the highest frequency and codify that through meditation, right? Through meditation, we can recognize our higher self, our highest frequency, our center, our neutral, and use that as a baseline all day long so that we can stop, drop, and roll when we're off of that baseline so that we can plateau each day and then grow instead of live the myth of Sisyphus. How do you let go completely but still be in charge of your destiny? This is one of the most commonly asked questions because there is a blend between persistence and patience. And I think if you understand a couple concepts, it can help you be a ferocious Buddha, to give everything that you have to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential while allowing things to happen. The number one thing is you must know that you are exactly where you need to be, that you have everything that you need. That's why it was so difficult for me to talk about what materially I want, because I have everything I need or I wouldn't be here. But I'm at the right place at the perfect time. And then enjoying the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential, angling with everything that I have, utilizing my trust in the law of gravity, that everything will come to me, my trust in the law of Goya, that I'm going to get off my ass and make this happen, and then allow detaching my emotions from an outcome, the law of attraction. It's counterintuitive and conflictual to be a ferocious Buddha. It's counterintuitive and difficult to understand the blend of doing everything you can towards an objective, towards a goal, but allowing it to happen. And the reason we can allow it to happen, how do we detach our emotions from that outcome? Faith. Faith in one thing. The faith that you will end up somewhere better. That you don't know what you don't know. That you will institute radical humility by taking inventory of your values and not being a hypocrite, or not being afraid of being a hypocrite, and finding those that sit in a situation that you want and asking for help, that you will end up somewhere better, that you don't know what you don't know. Can you talk to us about planting seeds we'll never sit under? You're planting seeds for trees to be grown, and you'll never sit under most of them. The biggest difficulty we have as a boss, as a partner, as a parent, as a spouse, the biggest difficulty that we have is that we are articulating what we want to help other people with, and it doesn't seem like they're receptive or they take action on it. But you're just planting seeds. And if it's not you, some other inspirational thought or book or podcast or person will water that seed. And eventually a tree will grow. You may not ever see that tree. You may never, ever get to enjoy the shade. You may never get to enjoy sitting under it. But especially with my children, I know they're watching. They may not listen to me today, but they're watching me. And I know that I'm planting seeds with lessons like being kind to your future self, with lessons like being more interested than interesting, with lessons like show me your friends and I'll show you my future. Although they may not recognize or acknowledge that they're learning, I'm planting the seeds. And the proof is, two of them come home from college and they tell me lessons that they've learned, and I'm kicking myself going, God, I could have sworn I've said that 100 times. Give somebody else credit. Sit under the trees. Don't sit under the trees, but plant the seeds. You mentioned in your book that music is a part of your meditation in order to continue the positive energy. Who are your favorite artists? What is your greatest weakness, and how did you overcome it? Thank you. Perfect. First, my favorite artists include, but are not limited to, Bob Marley, Steel Pulse, Elton John, Mozart, Pharrell, Alicia Keys, Led Zeppelin. There's so many. Neil Diamond. I have the most eclectic, energetic opinion and frequency opinion of music, and whatever moves me. John Lennon specifically, Elton John, I think I might have said, those are some of my favorite artists. But there's so many, because whatever moves me, and I can, just feel the vibration. What is your greatest weakness? My ego is my greatest weakness. My ego creates primal and secondary fears: the need to be right, the need to be offended, the need to be separate. the need to be inferior, the need to be superior, the need to be angry, anxious, frustrated, guilty, resentful. Gosh, I wish I had all the time in the world that I wasted on those things. Those are my weaknesses, and counteract it with radical humility. Rule number 6, especially. Rule number 6 in life is simply, I can't take myself so seriously. Don't take yourself seriously. Don't be afraid of being a hypocrite. You're just here learning lessons, finding the light, the love in the lessons, and sharing them with others so they don't have to pay the dummy tax like you've paid, like running into a wall and getting a black eye. How did you overcome it? 5 daily practices and 4 values. Just to remind you, the 4 values are gratitude, forgiveness, accountability, and inspiration, effective communication. And the 5 daily practices, as stated in the video, simply: number 1, take inventory of your values. Don't be afraid of being a hypocrite. 2, ask and attract. Ask for help from those people that sit in the situation that you want to be in. 3, be a student. Pay attention to, give intention to the coincidences you want, using a lens of productivity. How much value are you going to provide? A lens of accessibility. How accessible are you to others? And how are you accessing what you want? And most importantly, a lens of gratitude. The ability to find the light, the love, and the lessons, to seek what you want, not what other people want, not the mistakes, not what's missing, but what you want. Pain is just an indicator that you have a lesson to learn, like not to run and hurry in the dark and run into a wall. The lessons to learn. Pain is an indicator you have a lesson to learn, not a stop sign. Keep going. It ain't how hard you get hit. It's how hard you can get hit and still move forward. All right. It's not how hard you hit. It's how hard you can get hit and move forward. I got hit by a wall. All right. Anyway, thank you. What does it mean to you to give unconditionally? It's a goal of mine, just as it is to pursue my potential. My potential is to be unconditional, to forgive the unforgivable. And unconditioned means that there's a strategy of giving to receive, which is conditional. The more I give, the more I receive, is a trade or a negotiation conditioned upon acknowledgement, recognition, maybe money, quid pro quo, some other things that we do. To me, unconditional means that I receive and give my life away. I go from, like I said, nowhere to now, here to nowhere. I am here with a jacket with no pockets to give my life away. You cannot be buried, or you cannot be the richest man in the cemetery. You can't take anything with you when you're gone. So give your life away, be unconditional to the best of your ability. Try not to have any conditions, judgments, any type of negotiation or trade. Just unconditionally allow everything to come through you, not to you like a victim in a world of not enough, not for you in the world, the scarce world of everything's for me. I got to buy things I don't need. I got to buy different things I don't need. I got to buy more things I don't need. I got to buy things to impress people. I got to buy things to impress people I don't even like. No, unconditionally give your life away. And guess what? You'll expand and more will come through you. And there'll be more than enough of everything for everyone, including you. How do you change a bad habit into a good one? Consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. First of all, we need to lower the bar and do something every day. So if there's a bad habit we have to get rid of, we have to lower the bar. And, if we're smoking 6 cigarettes a day, let's try to smoke 5 this week, 4 the next week, or the next month, or 3 the next month, and dissipate the bad habit. And then whatever good habit it is, you want to create that. So I believe there's 2 different activities. One is to dissipate and dissolve bad habits. The other is to create good ones. Both take the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. The easiest way to do that is to understand the distinguishment between motivation and inspiration. You need to get up, get back up, get started, get restarted in order to effectuate or dissipate, depending on if it's a new habit or an old one that you want to get rid of. Now, what you need to do is transition that into inspiration by lowering the bar to get motivated. So you do it every day. Then when you start doing it every day, it'll build upon itself and expand and grow and accelerate. It'll have compound interest. The rule of 72 will apply. It'll keep doubling, and doubling the more consistent you are at it. Do you do any coaching? Yes. Every Friday, and sometimes Thursday when it's New Year's Eve, I do free coaching, free training like this. I have one-on-one training. I have private groups of 100 people I put together. They fill up very quickly, and you get one-on-one access to me every week. My books, my guides, my exercises are free. You can email me, david@dmeltzer.com. If you email me or text me, 949-298-2905, your number one habit that you're going to do every single day in 2021, I'll sign a book, send it to you, ship it to you, and pay for it and the shipping. What is your proudest accomplishment this year? Oh man, I think 2-minute drill, right? We're going to be airing that January 8th. It's on Bloomberg TV. It's on Amazon. I executive produced and hosted and judged in the show, brought in the founder of Uber, the founder of LinkedIn, incredible celebrity. It's awesome. And out of ether, if somebody would ask me years ago if I'd, be involved in all like this, I would have said, how? I don't know anything about it. And I asked for help and built, this unbelievable solution that will be in season 2 in June, and we launch on Friday, and everybody can reach it. If you want to try out for the show as well, it's dmeltzer.com, david@dmeltzer.com, or dmeltzer.com/pitch. What's one New Year's resolution that everyone should have? Build a habit machine. Build a habit machine. Work on the capabilities. What skills are required? What knowledge is required of who and what is my desire to build this mechanism that allows me to be consistent and persistent and enjoy that in the pursuit of my potential. So whatever it is I want to implement into my life, I have a better habit machine that creates that habit. And I'm more disciplined, strategic, and aware of how that can happen. My New Year's resolution is to continue to refine and to build my habit machine, which gives me an exponential output. How can we apply to be on your show? dmeltzer.com/pitch. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and 949-298-2905. I'd love to have you try out. There's $50,000 of cash and prizes for each episode. So it's worth trying out for. $50,000 of cash and prizes each episode, 12 episodes. We've already filmed here and we'll launch in January. The next season will launch in June. What happened to your eye? Oh, there we go. Somebody asked. You got it. I ran into a wall, not following or practicing what I teach or preach. Hypocrite. What has 2 thumbs in is a hypocrite. All right. If business is a service-based business, if you have a service-based business, a law firm that does have specific niche market, people left out of civil legal system, how do you pitch that? All pitches are familiar with in regards to a product. Do you have examples or persons to watch or point towards that are service-based? Yes. I have a document. If anyone wants the pitch guide, this goes through all of it. Just email me, david@dmeltzer.com, or join my text community, 949-298-2905. My guides and exercises and books are free. David@dmeltzer. Go ahead. If you want the pitch guide, the ego guide, the sales guide, whatever other, go check out the replays on Spotify Entrepreneur. Pick out the exercises and guides you want. Let me know more. I even have one that's worthiness guide. I have so many different things I'm happy to give to you. Now, also, everybody, if you want to see videos, some people are asking for videos, just use search.dmeltzer.com. Search.dmeltzer.com. You can search any of these topics and find all my videos on it, and then know what exercises, guides, and books that I can send you for free. Search.dmeltzer.com. Check it out. Okay, thank you. What are the steps to forgiving the unforgivable? Well, forgiveness gives us peace, right? We don't waste the time, energy, and emotion of ego when we're in forgiveness, but it also brings us closer to certainty, because if we're capable, which we're not, we can pursue it, of forgiving everything and the unforgivable, we're going to have complete certainty in our life, because nothing can affect you. The only thing that affects you is when you can't forgive it. If you can't forgive it, then you get angry, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, guilty, resentful, separate, whatever. If you can forgive it, it has no effect on you. It has no interference, void, shortages, or obstacles that are created. If you can forgive, that's the wonderful thing. What is the law of attraction? I believe the law of attraction is a portion and part of the law of gravity, which says everything will be drawn down to me. The law of Goya, which says nothing happens until it moves. Get off your ass and make it happen. And then what happens is a void is created for what you want, not what's missing in your life, not what other people want from you, not what you don't have, but what you want into that void, into that vacuum. Remember, the universe is consistently expanding, it's creating a vacuum. The law of gravity draws it down. What are you going to put into your vacuum, and how big is the vacuum? Because you can only handle what you can handle. You need to expand and grow with the universe as well. Law of attraction applies on that. Jakey Biggie, welcome, my boy, MVP young man. I need more Jakey Bakies in my life. Thank you for the question. How do you practice ending fear? It's a ferocious Buddha. You got to, one, identify what you're afraid of. That's the first and hardest practice to be ferocious with. Then instead of resisting it or arguing with it or overselling it, back end selling, lying, manipulating, or cheating it, or even with good intentions, Jakey Bakey, not the little lies, what you need to do is just stop. Stop. Don't accelerate in the wrong direction. You don't need to go over it, under it, around it, break through it. There's a key, and it's called center. There's a key that allows you to open the door and step on right through it. It's called center, neutral. And I tell people, you got to raise yourself up to drop yourself down. What does that mean? You need to drop down and breathe through your nose, out through your mouth, to the higher frequency of center. That's the key. And then roll in the right directions. Remember, when you are in fear, your mind, body, soul are on fire. Your mind, body, soul are on fire. You're affecting yourself negatively, spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. When you're on fire, stop, drop, and roll. That's how you practice ending fear. Number one, especially at a young age, Jakey Bakey, got to identify what you're afraid of. Are you afraid of people not liking you? Are you afraid of your boss being mad at you? What are you afraid of, young man? And then stop, drop, and roll. Is it possible to learn lessons without experiencing pain? Absolutely. Look, there's variants of pain. You know, pain sometimes we don't see, hear, or feel. It's subconscious and unconscious. Interference is pain. Corrosion is pain. Void shortages and obstacles are pain. And so we can learn lessons all the time from great experiences and joy, right? Exactly. Excessive exuberance could be seen as pain, or it could just be seen as extreme joy, but we're constantly learning. But pain's an indicator that we have a lesson to learn. We're constantly learning. Happy New Year, Todd. Happy New Year, David. What is the number one rule, guiding force that I should follow when starting a new business and brand? Well, number one, stay in business, right? You don't know what you don't know, but the key is the capitalization of your business, whatever amount that may be, is the heartbeat of the business. If you're out of business, it doesn't matter how great your idea is. All it is a great idea. So make sure that you stay in business every day. Guide your key priority, your non-negotiable priority of business, to stay in business, to give you more opportunity, more time, and more money. So stay in business is the number one rule. Your company will evolve. We don't know how long it takes to segment or to double, right? Some companies double every week, every month, every year, every 10 years, but it will if you stay in business and consistently, persistently pursue your potential and learn to enjoy that. Why are we afraid to ask? What's the difference between fear and worthiness? Well, we're afraid to ask because we feel inferior, superior, or separate. We have some sort of humility issue that we think we are diminishing if we ask somebody for help. Don't want to put them up. We feel guilty. We feel resentful. We feel scared, whatever it may be. And how fear is related to worthiness is if you feel worthy of everything you receive, you won't be afraid of receiving it. Help, action, whatever it may be. Worthiness is directly tied to your fear. The more worthy you feel, the less fear you have. And that includes all types of activities you get paid for, activities you don't get paid for. Joseph Storzings are my star component on my WFG team, which is growing immensely. If you want to join me and Marshall Falk on our business and our team, reach out david@dmeltzer.com. Joseph and I would love to have you on our team. Thank you. I'm grateful for the awesomeness. Are you looking to hire for your team? Yes, I am. Please reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. Can I get some things done for you for free? Yes, you can. Please let me know. I can be of service. Number one, share the playbook. Get everyone to come watch 2-minute drill. Get people to come to these free trainings, exercises, guides, watch the replays, whatever it is. Share my content and do good deeds, Joseph. Let's build a huge team to empower others, to make a lot of money, help a lot of people, and have a lot of fun. Reach out to me, david@dmeltzer.com. What is the one plan you had for this year that didn't work out? Well, there was many. That car one was a great example because that definitely didn't work out. It worked out for a while. I was killing it, but I let my ego get involved. I think also the plans, I had resigned from Sports One Marketing in December, and I'd planned to help build with a new CEO, Sports One Marketing, and then COVID hit, and since it's an event-based business, Super Bowl, Pro Bowl, Masters, Kentucky Derby, Breeders' Cup, ESPYs, Emmys, Oscars, Grammys, and the thousands of golf tournaments all canceled. That plan didn't work out. But if you want to make God laugh, come up with a well-developed plan. Remember, we are exactly where we're supposed to be, angling towards what we want with faith that we'll end up somewhere better. What was your favorite training topic in 2020? I think the ultimate ego training was my favorite. I think next year I'm doing mommy issue training in January. I also like the BYOQs, right? Bring your own questions, I'll bring the answer, which is once a month. We're going to do more of that as well. All the replays are great in trainings. I mean, the pitch training, the sales training, the 5 to Thrive training, and you can get all the exercises, guides, books for free, david@dmeltzer.com. You can join my text community, 949-298-2905. What is your process for setting monster goals broke down into bite-sized goals? Yeah, so taking inventory of my values every day, personal, experiential, giving and receiving values. That's the key to bite size, right? Not being afraid of changing, growing, learning, and being a hypocrite. But if you can, set a monster goal, an audaciously monster goal, like empowering over 1 billion people, and then take inventory of your values and break it down by math, connecting the dots backwards, like all I need to do in my lifetime through segmentation, acceleration, growth, and exponential growth. And by the way, all I need to do is empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000. Oh, in order to get to 1,000, I just need one person at a time. That'll empower one person at a time. That'll empower one person at a time. And it'll keep doubling from 2 to 4 to 8, etc. So go ahead, take inventory of your values, do things one at a time, and empower those people as ambassadors, as sponsors, as power sponsors, asking for help. Do you know anyone that can help me share my content and do good deeds? Whether it's the 2-minute drill, the playbook, my books, exercises, guides, my free training, my private groups, my one-on-one, please share. Please, I am here to be of service and of help. What is your process for setting, repetitive. Here we go. What is the first step? I'll do this one real quick. What is the first step to switch from negative to positive, to switch from scarcity to more than enough? Practice ending fear. Utilize the 4 values: gratitude, empathy, accountability, and effective communication. The 5 daily practices: take inventory of value, ask and attract, student your calendar, do it now, and practice ending fear. And I promise you, you will move from a world of not enough. That why me will turn to a try me. You'll learn to live not in the world of for me, but through me for everybody else. Remember, everyone, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, happy, healthy new year. You can reach me, David@dmeltzer. Send me your one habit. I will, david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905. I will send you a signed copy of my books, paid for the book and for shipping. Don't worry. Exercises, guides, books for free, replays on Spotify, Entrepreneur, every platform. Share, like. And don't forget to try out for 2-minute drill. It airs January 8th, Bloomberg TV. Check it out, Amazon Prime Video. It's there too. And next week's training, back to Fridays, normal 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. How and what do I include in a pitch? We're going to go the pitch route. Join me. Have a wonderful, wonderful New Year's Eve. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. I'll catch you in 2021. And most importantly, be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a happy, healthy New Year.